Alright, what is going on, dude? There it is. Perfect. Perfect. Here I am. Alright, boys and girls, I am live. What's going on? I have a couple funny things to show you today. Wait, hold on. Wait, what happened to my... No way, dude. Where'd it go? Oh, I thought I minimized it. Hold on. I have something really funny to show you. Oh, right off the bat. This is hilarious, actually. This is one of the funniest things I've seen in a while. So let's go to, there's this there's this person I follow on Twitter that is always like just catching these catching like all of the worst Hassan clips, right? Um, wait. Oh, okay. Where is it? Dude, here it is, right here. Dude, check this out, bro. This is just in the last day of crazy. This is so funny, dude. So in the content comp, Ian's holding the sword, and it's from Bleach, right? And I even said it's from Bleach, and to kind of portray it as a swastika sword is just super disingenuous. But then I started to do a little digging, and I found out that like Hassan never actually really watched Bleach, and then I saw this morning, and you guys, this is brilliant, bro.
I want the normal this one, the normal one without the. This one's sicker. Wait, that's a little sus.
No way, dude. No fucking way.
Yes way, dude. He bought the sword because it looked like a swastika. He doesn't even know that this is a recreation of a Bleach sword. When he bought it, he just bought the swastika sword and utilized it in the video where he utilized it to shit on the Jewish guy, bro.
Way. He gestures down toward it. This one's sicker, dude.
Wait, that's a little sus.
It's sus, bro. Why is it sus?
That's questionable. Bag. Oh, okay. Yeah. Immediately goes for the swastika one.
It was on purpose.
Oh, dude, it's the swastika sword, bro. Like, there's no, like, the funny thing about this, bro, is if Hassan is calling it the swastika sword, bought it because he thought it was a swastika sword, doesn't watch fucking Bleach, and uses it. This is so funny, bro. This is one of the funniest shits ever.
They did it on purpose. I'm sorry. I think they did it on purpose. That's my personal opinion. They knew it looked like a swastika, and they posed with it. Dude, they did it on purpose. No, that's how I view it now. That's my personal opinion on this. It's a dog whistle. Dude, these guys... Dude, I'm sorry, bro. We've watched videos where people have called me dog whistler and shit like this for fucking years by these exact types of people. They took a fucking situation where they're being called anti-Semitic, and they posed with a sword that they view as the swastika sword. That was on purpose, 100 fucking %. Do not even argue with me about this.
You wanna call me anti-Semitic? Well, check out my swastika sword. Like, if you would have saw it, he's like, bro, this is the sword from Bleach, then like obviously that's what I thought. I think that's what most people thought. And when I saw Ethan like complaining about it looking like a swastika, I was like, come on, that's such bullshit, bro. I know. But now that you have the context behind him buying the sword, him calling it the swastika sword, dude, Ethan doesn't, he looks less like a schizophrenic now, bro. How is it that just Hassan's own clips, his own fucking actions and words always make anybody that might look marginally crazy about saying something just instantly in the right?
This is ridiculous.
Immediately goes for the swastika one. Got it.
I like this already much better.
Wow.
Oh my god, that's brilliant, bro. We're living in the best fucking thing, dude. We're living in the best timeline. This is amazing, bro. Hassan defends bad. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. How can you defend this fucking guy? How?
Like, that's why he's mad. Like, Bad Empanada behaves in an insane way, just like Ethan behaves in an insane way.
What's insane about Ethan, like, the way he's acting toward these people when they sent him fucking human skulls and called CPS on his kids? This is insane, bro. That's insane. You're fucking actually retarded, bro.
That's it. That's it. And you can't deal with someone giving back the same level of smoke to you. Like,
Well, that wasn't the same level of smoke, though. That was so what fucking happened to you? The nuke was just like actually a forest fire, and you guys in your fucking content cop was like a homeless dude burning fucking condoms in a dumpster.
he'll be like, Bad Empanada played that, the Al Aqsa game or whatever, the role reversal Palestinian game. Every game. Every video game where Muslims
Okay, here we go. So we're gonna justify it because like we're gonna put it in context of the Israel-Palestine conflict, and we're not gonna put it in context of Bad Empanada pretending to hunt down Ethan Klein's wife. Like, that was his bit, was I'm gonna go fucking kill Ethan Klein's wife in a video game. We're not contextualizing it as that. No. We're gonna contextualize it as, oh, you're okay with other games because they kill Muslims, and not okay when they kill Jewish people. Dude, get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the fuck. This is what I mean, like, when I'm always saying, like, this dude will consistently twist, and all of these fucking idiots, I mean, Destiny does this, fucking Vosh does this, where they will twist the situation to fit their narrative to the best degree possible. They're just like, they'll see something where, did you just see that they called him the worst thing ever? Oh, no. But what you don't understand is there's a war going on in Ukraine right now. What the fuck does that have to do with anything, you fucking cum falcon?
are in the crosshairs is propaganda in the other direction. We just see it as normal, so we don't even think about it, and that's fine, right?
Yeah, dude, that's exactly why he was mad about the clip, is because they were hunting the Jews. It had nothing to do with the fact that his wife worked as a secretary, and he just said that we're going to kill Ethan Klein, and then we're going to hunt down the secretary, which his wife worked as a secretary. It has nothing to do with Bad Empanada, like, maliciously going after their kids, maliciously trying to be the most disgusting person toward them ever. It has nothing to do with that. No. It has to do with, Muslims bad. Got it.
Right? But God forbid someone plays the opposite game for once, and all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. Okay, if you consider that to be anti-Semitic and racist, playing Call of Duty is Islamophobic. That would be a ridiculous woke position to take. That's number one.
Wait, this is just so fucking retarded. That was not Ethan Klein's problem at all, dude. That was not his problem. The problem was he was talking about killing people that were like Ethan Klein. He says that in the video, and then hunting down. We're gonna go fucking hunt down the secretaries because he knows Ethan Klein's wife worked as a secretary for the IDF. That was the problem. It had nothing to do with all this other bullshit. I'm sure Ethan said something because of, like, he gets worked up and just be fucking spouting shit, but that's the problem. I love that he's just fucking being the most disingenuous fucking prick in the world. This guy, how do people fucking with any sort of, like, modicum of intelligence watch this guy in any, like, general tone, dude? It's so fucking retarded how this dude can just, like, Mr. I love context removes all context from every situation to fit a narrative.
Number two.
Dude, this is exactly he fucking is the one who sent Ian all the shit to write the content cop. 100%, bro. If he's able to pull this type of fucking retarded context out of everything, or remove all context to make the most retarded arguments ever, you know that he was a big push on the content cop because it's all fucking propaganda.
Ooh. Ethan literally played terrorist or Twitch streamer, comparing me to Osama bin Laden to his fucking audience. How is that not insanely Islamophobic?
Wait, What?
It's ridiculous.
It has nothing to do with you and your religion, buddy. It has to do with you constantly fucking platforming terrorists. You're just like, you sit there and you wait for the terrorist cock to land on your fucking shoulder, bro, so you can suck it as hard as you can. That's the point of it, dude. It has nothing to do with Jesus Christ, dude. It's always a distraction with this fucking guy.
6 million views in 5 days. Yeah, 6 million views in 5 days, by the way. What a fucking flop this was, huh? God damn.
Not gonna lie, the video did do really, really good numbers. That's fucking valid. But I mean, I think it's sitting at like a fucking like 48-50 dislike ratio. I mean, it is definitely not loved. It is definitely looked like a kind of a fucking clown show on the internet. I think this video made everybody look bad except for Ethan Klein, the person who was supposed to make bad, which is fucking sad because there's so many things you could go after Ethan Klein for, and there's so many people that have rightfully gone through or after Ethan Klein and made him look like an absolute fucking clown. And I think everybody that knew about like Ethan Klein and his fucking drama before this happened, we're just kind of waiting for Ethan Klein to step out of line once so that the progressives could fucking fillet his fucking flesh and use it as fucking condoms for their weird sex bullshit. I mean, ask Hassan. He be doing some weird sex shit at Diddy parties, right? Okay, he didn't do weird sex shit at Diddy parties, but he does like frequenting brothels where he wants to use the skin of his enemies as condoms. But but it's just like, this is so funny, dude. I can't I just can't get over the fact that this video had nothing contextualized whatsoever, and this dude like lives and dies by the fact that he won't watch Ethan's video because it's all out of context.
It's already doubled the view count of the context nuke in 5 days. The like dislike ratio ain't good. Yeah, the dislike ratio counter is not correct. It can only make a assumption on what it is. The extension is not accurate. But I mean, I think a lot of people want.
You can go to the comments of that video and see that it was not the reason it did so well. And here's one, like, the video was instantly gonna do well because it's fucking Content Cop is back. So people who grew up with like grew up on the internet and shit and like loved like internet drama of the past, they saw the Content Cop was back and they were instantly gonna watch it. I'm betting money the moment Hassan and these fucking like foot job fetish motherfuckers showed up on camera, a lot of people clicked off. I have a feeling, because that's when the video got incredibly cringe, and if I wasn't watching it on stream, that's when I would have clicked off. But I mean, who isn't gonna fucking click on a Content Cop in 2025? Especially if you grew up watching like the Content Cop Leafy, Content Cop Keemstar. You're gonna click on that shit. I'm sorry. And the fact that it's on one of his closest YouTube friends, instantly interesting. It's just like, but anybody, like, you go to the comments, everybody down there, not everybody, but a majority of people down there are fucking just angry about like how fucking stupid and boring the shit is and how it isn't even a Content Cop.
I think a lot of people just want to feel like it's valid to convince themselves that this is like a dud or something, and that,
I mean, it doesn't have, okay, it's not in terms of views, it is not a dud. I don't think anybody's saying that the video failed in regards of getting views. I think the video, most people are talking about how the video fucking failed in terms of not showing any context, of being a terrible fucking video. It's a dud, and intellectually it's a dud. That's the problem. But Hassan doesn't have the intellectual capabilities to actually fucking maintain an accurate thought, so he's just retard coping on his fucking stream like usual.
there isn't a lot of people that are not on Ethan's side on this.
Not a lot of people, but yeah, dude, those are the three clips. I actually didn't want to, I actually just wanted to watch the swastika sword part, but But I just love the fact that all the other content cops were built off of the fact that he was going after people who didn't get enough shit on the internet, at least at that time period. And then he's like, you know, I'm gonna go after the guy whose children or had CPS called on his children by these fucking brainlets that I'm gonna like introduce into the fucking void of this video. I'm gonna make sure that they're front and center. So this feels like a harassment campaign video, because it is a harassment campaign video. But I just wanted to add that in really quick. I wanted to fucking do a quick jump on that, but that wasn't my plan for the stream today. I just saw the swastika sword thing, and I just knew that it was brilliant. It was brilliant, the fact that if you contextualize shit from the video, the way that Hassan always begs for context, he calls the thing the context nuke or context puke. When you use his own his own arguments and his own logic against him. Oh, well, wow, dude, the sword in context to all your videos talking about privately, it's the swastika sword. So now you're utilizing it to attack the Jewish guy? You know exactly what you're fucking doing, bro. You guys all know what you're doing. It's fucking funny. It's pathetic. Dude, the fucking amount of, fucking, vaginal discharge and cum that was getting spread around that room during their orgy is just the funniest thing fucking imaginable. That's all I got on that one, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and like and subscribe. What we have here is Shoe on Head. This is called Why Trump Really Destroyed, or What Trump Really Destroyed, the Dark Truth Behind USA Idea. Now, Shoe on Head is left wing. I'm very interested to hear her perspective on kind of what's going on in the world. Normally I would avoid this type of stuff, but like I said, whenever Shoe on Head drops something, I find it really interesting content. It usually doesn't do incredibly great on the channel, but I want to engage with it. I want to see what the heck's going on with this stuff. So let's dive right into some foot on mouth.
Donald Trump, along with Elon Musk, have created a new government agency called Doge. And what I originally thought was just an older sibling giving a younger sibling an unplugged video game controller actually turned into a real thing. And their first order of business was dismantling USAID, an innocent government program that helped poor people all around the world. Or was it? Hello and welcome back to the Shoe on Head channel. I am Shoe on Head and I am not real. I am a figment of your imagination. You have been in a coma since 2012. Wake up. Wake up. Today we will be talking about the dark, seedy underbelly of USAID. This is a topic I've been interested in for a very long time now. And now that recently USAID has been in the news, I figured it is a perfect time to finally talk about it. All the mainstream liberal coverage I've seen of this has basically been late-night talk show hosts crying fake tears about it being dismantled, and all the mainstream Republican coverage has just been about all the woke shit USAID was apparently funding. But I promise you, it is more than that.
Well, that's all I know about it. That is exactly what I know about it. There was a bunch of fucking, it was funding gay tickling in Uganda, and then people were like, whoa, they're trying to dismantle all the government agencies. Everybody's going to lose their job. You're going to take away all funding to everything. And then you look at back to the Fox News. It's like, dude, sneeze butthole licking in fucking Afghanistan is getting cut. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on, bro?
A lot more. If you're not a very political person and you only come here to consume the Reddit gender war slop, you should still stick around for this because this gets juicy. And remember, even if you're not interested in politics, politics is interested in you. And trust me, I understand why some people—
politics is just crawling out of my fucking closets and shit, trying to just grab my cock and shove it in its butthole, and I have no power over it. I'm just like, no, please, I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready, politics. That's the vibe I got from that.
People aren't interested in politics. It's confusing, it's stressful, it's a lot to keep up with. I feel like 500 things happen every single day. But thankfully, I have a tool to help with that. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, this video is sponsored—
Great fucking ad read. One day I'm gonna have to do ad reads, and they're just gonna be kind of slopped into the middle of the video. I just have a feeling I'm not gonna be able to fucking figure out how to do effective fucking ad reads. It's gonna come out and I'm just gonna be standing naked. I'm gonna be like, buy Raid Shadow Legends. Buy Raid Shadow Legends. I'm gonna be slapping my own titties, and then people are just gonna be so confused, and then it's gonna go back to me talking about the most random shit possible.
By USA. Just kidding. This video is sponsored by Ground News. Let's quickly give them a shout out and then we will jump back into this deep dive, shall we? Ground News is a website and an app that gives readers a fun and transparent way to read the news all across the political spectrum.
All right. If you want Ground News, go to her fucking comment section or whatever and get it and fucking jerk off to it. Make sure that you save your seed for later because you never know when it'll be of use. So, yeah, according to Chris Chan, you got to drink it, but I don't know about that. I mean, unless you want to.
Right. Now let's get back to this USAID deep dive, shall we?
I
So-
prefer calling it the USAID Deep Throat because it's funnier.
Donald Trump and Elon Musk created the Department of Government Efficiency, aka Doge. Get it? Like the Reddit meme from 2012?
Dude, I have to say that is something like, so a lot of, this is where I kind of have the thing with Elon Musk. Some of this Doge stuff I've heard and like a lot of this government efficiency shit that I've heard about, it seems like this is kind of the shit I wanted. I want them to look at where like government spending is going. I think that there definitely needs to be a lot of cuts. I mean, for years, dude, for years I've been like saying this shit. This is something like back in like the 2000s, bro, when I was like coming up as a kid, bro. I was like, dude, why aren't we looking into like the defense budget? Why aren't we looking into all these budgets? And I remember like I lived in kind of a conservative town. They're like, oh, what do you just like? Like they were anti that because it was like post 9/11 type shit, right? So they were anti looking into all of the stupid spending. And now like it's I'm seeing a lot of role reversal in this time period. I don't know why, but I like this is like the type of shit that I'm positive Bernie Sanders probably would have been talking about if it was like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And it's just like weird to me. This whole shit, like the weird timeline we were living in just seems so fucking confusing.
Epic bacon, my fellow memers. Honestly, who am I to talk about dead memes? My username is Shoe on Head.
Oh,
So-
I got distracted by talking about my childhood. I wanted to, basically my point was Elon Musk is fucking mad cringe, bro. The dude's constantly like doing his memes, but the memes are all fucking, they're like when your dad tries to like use your language that is popular for the time period and he doesn't understand how to use it in the right context. So he's just like saying shit. Like he's like, oh, this wrench is pretty fucking grippy. Am I right? And you're like, oh fuck, dad, that is meant for vaginas, bro. What the fuck are you talking about? Shut up, dog. That's kind of how I feel anytime fucking Elon Musk talks. The dude's so mad cringe. The fact that they called it Doge, fucking just shoot me in the head with the 12 gauge. You know what I mean?
Doge's supposed goal seems to be cutting useless spending the government is making us pay taxes on. Now, I have very mixed feelings about taxes. From each according to his ability, to each according to his needs. Taxation is theft! The tree of liberty will be refreshed with the blood of tyrants! My opinion has always been if we are going to pay taxes in this country, could they at least go to things that actually help people like Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, child tax credits, firefighters, fixing our bridges and roads, castrating pedophiles, government-funded girlfriends, things like that.
Bro, get rid of them. Burn them all. I think they should bring back the guillotine, but not have like the full guillotine. Just a guillotine with like a small hole. And it's only for pedophiles, right? It's only for pedophiles. And what they do is they stand on a stage and it goes slap and it just chops off their wiener. And then they cauterize it and like stop him from dying. And then they put him in a jail for the rest of his life. I think that's the best solution for pedophiles.
And yes, we should be auditing the government. I think that's a good thing. Frankly, I don't care who does it as long as they do it well. Good things are good, bad things are bad. I'm anti-bad things, pro-good things. Those are my politics. And hating libertarians. Just kidding, I love libertarians. I get along great with them. As long as we don't talk about child labor. Anyway, Doge got straight to work, firing government workers and—
That's the thing. I consider myself mostly a libertarian, but at the same time, there's a lot of things that I disagree with, like the I think it's like Ayn Rand or whatever. I disagree with like a lot of her philosophy because like I think that there is some like really great libertarian concepts, and it's one of those things that it's like it's where I can look at somebody who has like socialist like kind of some appeals to socialism. I can understand it. I get it. I see you. But like the idea that full socialism is gonna work, it's just not. It's just a fucking, it's idealistic. And the same problem goes with like perfect libertarianism. Is it's gonna turn into BioShock, bro. It's gonna turn into BioShock. I'm sorry. There is a point where you have to have some government intervention. There has to be some social programs to like make the shit work. There's a reason you need the government, but there's also like you can't just let the free market all the fucking time. I am a strong proponent of the free market, but I think that there's does need to be some regulation in place. I think that that's kind of how most people should sit. They shouldn't be like 100% in on any ideology. I think that they should have like pieces of each ideology to build their own fucking tower of like juicy political fucking background or whatever.
And basically hiring my Twitter mutuals. What was once a theater kid occupied government is now a right-wing schizo poster occupied government. No, I am not joking.
So this is a 19-year-old high school graduate who has used the unfortunate nickname Big Balls online, so that would be one way that we could refer to him. He is now working at Musk's behest inside Doge.
If you had told me 10 years ago that Donald Trump and Elon Musk would hire some Zoomer named Big Balls to help audit the government, I'd believe it. Like, yeah.
That's so fucking amazing, bro. I saw a montage of like all the news outlets having to say big balls, and it was like one of the greatest things ever. I think like I'm glad that that's the motherfucker that said the most outlandish shit in Twitter back in like 2001. They pulled a Twitter post he made from like a long time ago, and I think he got fired. But the fact that every news outlet had to fucking say big balls, there is not a better timeline. That is the greatest meme. We're living in a fucking South Park episode, and it's fucking amazing.
Checks out. They have no relevant experience. Most of them aren't old enough to rent a car. They're not even old enough to rent a car. They're in their 20s. We sent 18-year-olds to go die in the wars you cheerlead on, you evil hag. Why are they so focused on the ages of these people when our government is basically a retirement home? But honestly, I don't blame Hillary Clinton. If I were her, I also wouldn't want 22-year-olds in the government. Months before dismantling the Department of Education, or apparently Sesame Street, Doge's first order of business was dismantling USAID.
Without providing any proof, Elon said USAID is a criminal organization. Oh yeah, they're an international crime syndicate hell-bent on helping people.
Pretty f***ed up, huh? Taking money away from an aid program that helps poor people all around the world. Except USAID was...
Except it wasn't USAID, it was USAIDs, and we were spreading AIDS across the country. That's what I think.
Not exactly that. In fact, it doesn't even f***ing stand for aid. It stands for United States Agency for International Development. It has f*** all to do with aid. But honestly, I don't blame you for thinking it does. After all, they do make the word aid a different color in the logo. Those sneaky bastards. Although it said USAID provides 42% of global aid, the truth is most of those funds are just spent paying US contractors and secretly conducting regime change all around the world. In fact, 80% of all USAID funding goes to just 75 organizations, while only 6% of that goes to aid. And by auditing USAID, Doge exposed the true, real puppet masters behind the secret cabal of evil masterminds funding the woke ideology spreading all around the globe. You. Yes, it was you, American taxpayer. Turns out the deep state was the friends we made along the way. And yes, it's true, we are spending billions of dollars in our tax money to fund things like teaching Sri Lankan journalists how to avoid binary gendered language, combating disinformation in Kazakhstan, promoting inclusion in Vietnam, millions to an Armenian LGBT group, millions to rebuild the Cuban media ecosystem, millions for LGBT causes in the Western Balkans, millions for LGBT activism in Uganda, millions for...
That one I was really worried about. I knew... See, I've known for a long time that Ugandans, mad homophobic. Mad homophobic. So I figured if we take your tax money that you worked really hard for, because you're just a fucking ant, who gives a fuck about you, and we funnel it to Uganda, maybe we can save more gay people and create a more better ecosystem for them to live in. Why does that matter to you? Because shut the fuck up, you stupid fucking homophobic.
Atheism in Nepal, millions for male circumcision around the world, and two...
That's really important, dude. We don't want any fucking, like, who does, like, anti-mushroom, the fucking mushroom tip is king. We don't want the fucking weird, like, I don't know, how do you describe a non-circumcised penis other than a fucking hot dog wrapped in fucking bread? It looks weird. Just we don't want any of the weird looking dicks. Look, get some normal dicks out there. Let's just fucking, we need to up the amount of money given to circumcisions around the world.
$2 million for sex changes in Guatemala. And many other things that were so ridiculous I had to double check to make sure I wasn't being trolled. Taxpayer-funded sex changes in Guatemala? We don't even do that here! Now, you might be saying, Shoo, this seems like some stupid anti-woke shit. And yeah, kind of. You got me. But I ask you, young naive liberal, why the f*** was John Bolton once the head of USAID? John Bolton, for those of you who are unaware, is an infamous neocon hack. He's literally criticized Trump for not being enough of a warmonger. Neocon hacks, for those same few of you who are unaware, are the people in our government responsible for meddling with other countries all around the world and getting us into wars for basically funsies. The people who suck the teat of Raytheon, Boeing, etc. The military-industrial complex's favorite Discord kittens. These guys come
This is like what's, again, my biggest problem. This is why I will never consider myself, like, on the right. It's just I fucking hate those warmongering neocon motherfuckers, dude. I hate them so much. It's like, why the fuck do I need to go, like, does the US need to go, like, regime change every place that we fucking have a slight disagreement with? Like, what the fuck is the point? Why do we need to get involved in everything? Why do we have, it's like we're running around just fucking everything with our unprotected penis and then wondering why we have giant fucking warts and pulsating fucking, like, explosion pimples on our dick, like boils and shit. We're wondering why that's happening when we're sticking our dick in fucking everything, dog, when we shouldn't be.
In shades of red and blue. So why was John Bolton, a red guy, in charge of the same program, USAID, that is sending American taxpayer money to foreign countries to have things like trans pride parades? The truth is, the USAID thing goes a lot deeper than what a lot of Republican commentators are saying. It wasn't just a bunch of libtards in government wasting our money on stupid woke things. No. There's way more than that. You see, it's current year and we can't just do old-fashioned imperialism anymore. The people don't like that. It's a new era, so we have to dress it up in glitter. And rainbows. To put it bluntly, USAID is nothing but another form of taxpayer-funded regime change, wearing an innocent mask of aid. Shut up, Shoo! You dumb bimbo populist! You reactionary shitlord! You cry, tears running down your fat, retarded face. The United States is just giving foreign countries billions of dollars out of the kindness of their hearts! Oh yeah? I have a lovely bridge on sale down the road. Would you like to buy it? Listen, despite all its faults, I love America, and I love the American people. But if you believe the corrupt, greedy bureaucrats running the deep state of this country do anything out of the kindness of their hearts, you are...
No, they want to destroy countries with whatever means possible, so they sow discourse. That's exactly what the plan was. It wasn't just like, oh, dude, a lot of the people that are just mad, like, it's, oh, dude, can you believe they did the gay tickling in fucking Schmiggle land? And people are just like, wow, dude, what, these fucking wokies? And it's like, that's not the point, though. I'm betting money the point was, like, we can sow discontent between the populace and the government by pushing some of these, identity policies in other countries, and that's exactly what they were doing.
A sweet, innocent angel, and you need to be protected at all costs. I especially side-eye any leftist who has the nerve to run defense for USAID, especially those who call themselves socialists or commies, considering the fact that USAID was basically originally created to destroy communist countries all around the world. Established in 1961 by President John F. Kennedy under the noble guise of aiding developing nations, USAID was, in many respects, an instrument during the Cold War to counter Soviet influence and keep the Third World from crafting its own socioeconomic model. A year after President John Kennedy created USAID in 1961, he told its directors that, as we do not want to send American troops to a great many areas where freedom may be under attack, we send you. It wasn't long before the CIA spotted an opportunity to extend its reach. In 1962, USAID launched its Office of Public Safety to send agents around the world under the guise of training police officers. But as it turned out, the trainers were busy teaching enhanced interrogation techniques, a euphemism.
This is how we're gonna train you how to be better cops. Now this is called waterboarding. Now what you do is you take a cloth,
or torture. The scandal broke out in 1966, and although the office was finally shut down in 1974, the dark practices persisted within military and intelligence circles. By 1980, USAID Administrator John Gilligan was candid enough to describe the agency as nothing more than a graduate school for the CIA. At one time, many aid field offices were infiltrated from top to bottom with CIA people, he said. It was pretty well known in the agency who they were and what they were up to. The idea was to plant operatives in every kind of activity we had overseas, government, volunteer, religious, every kind. USAID was quickly nicknamed the CIA's little sister. Oh, and here is John Bolton holding a trophy given to him by USAID in the shape of a hand grenade. Yeah, nothing to see here.
No, we're just aiding other countries, but our trophies look like hand grenades because we're about peace and aid, dude. Like I said, dude, it's USAIDs.
Folks. So let's talk about Zune Zaneo, shall we? Sit down. I love this story. Taken directly from Wikipedia, Zune Zaneo was an online social networking and microblogging service created by the United States Agency for International Development, aka USAID, and marketed to Cuban users. It was covertly developed as a long-term strategy to encourage Cuban youths to revolt against the nation's government.
Bro, we basically had TikTok for Cuba, bro. We made because that's like the argument against TikTok is it's a Chinese op to like obfuscate the like U.S. security or whatever. That's I think that's like the controversy around TikTok. Now I'm just a retard who reacts and commentates over shit online, right, and makes video game reviews. By the way, video game review dropping soon probably. I have one every week, so fucking watch those shits. I put my whole fucking girth into those motherfuckers. But I just love the fact that we just fucking obfuscate governments by creating social media apps.
The developers aim to use non-controversial content, such as sports and music, to build up subscribers and then to slowly introduce political messages through social bots to encourage dissent in an astroturfing initiative. So basically, USAID created a fake-ass social media platform in Cuba with our tax dollars, flooded it with bot content about like sports and music and whatever, just to make it seem normal, then slowly started to manipulate the users and create political division on the app between Cuban citizens in order to create political chaos in this country and a potential uprising. So yeah, how dare we take money away from those...
And there has been, it's funny that shit's been used, like with the social media platforms here in the USMB. If you don't think that they're not willing to step in and like try to manipulate like people here in the US, you're fucking dumb, dude. You know that there's like, you can look at the terms of service of any of this shit and it like wildly violates the Constitution, even though they're protected by Section 230, but they're allowed to just break freedom of speech laws on the daily, and it's just completely fine. And you're gonna tell me that the government doesn't have like power into this shit? Come get the fuck out of here.
Starving undercover agents. To make things even more sus, the money we spent on Zune Zaneo was publicly documented as an unnamed project in Pakistan. Yes, this fake-ass social media psyop they created in Cuba was documented by our government as being a project in Pakistan. Now, think of all the other weird shit USAID was supposedly funding. Those sex changes in Guatemala. Were they really sex changes in Guatemala? Or were they some covert psyop being done somewhere else in the world? I guess we'll never know now. Using social media to divide the masses and create political division. You don't think... No. They wouldn't do that. I mean, it's kind of weird they asked the former founder of Twitter to help with this project, but no. They would only do social media psyops in other countries, right? Right?
Bro, you can look at the fact that, like, if you said anything about certain current events in 2019, you would get stricken, or you would just get a strike. Like, it happened to me on TikTok. I made a silly joke. I got hit. I mean, I had a video stream like early in my YouTube, or like in the last year, where I made some jokes about Alex Jones and some of the things that he talks about, and like it wasn't even that serious, but I made some, and my stream got taken down for misinformation and shit, and I'm like, I didn't even fucking say anything. I was joking about like how outlandish all these fucking creators are. Like I was making jokes about political creators like fucking Alex Jones, Destiny, Hassan. I was just fucking like hee-hawing at them, and I got taken down for misinformation. I'm like, what the fuck? Like it's you can look at the shit that happens, and you know that there's some sort of intervention going on, and there's some sort of fucking genital tickling going on between these social media companies and the government. I mean, it's pretty fucking obvious if you're not a retard.
March 2024, a document was exposed that revealed USAID was running covert psyops all around the internet in order to combat populist misinformation about the government on Twitch, Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, and 4chan. Although its internal justification was halting the flow of mis- and disinformation, it seemed particularly concerned with malinformation, a concept it defines as speech that is factually correct but misleading, i.e., bothersome truths the US government would prefer the public does not know. USAID suggests directing the public toward mainstream corporate sources of information and psychologically inoculating.
Which is so disgusting because the corporate media conglomerates that we have in this country are so misleading. I mean, every single one of them has like such a hard bias that they're just willing to omit anything that doesn't go along with their narrative. Fuck, the hiccups got me.
Leading them against inconvenient facts that challenge US power by pre-bunking information before people see it. Pre-bunking includes discrediting the brand, the credibility, and reputation of those making false allegations. In other words, a state-directed attack against alternative media and critics of the US government. So basically, USAID was funding a bunch of dorks to go all around social media and be like, source? Every time someone criticizes the government. This is somehow more pathetic than when I used to use an alt account to defend myself on BreadTube subreddits. That is basically what our government was doing. Also, I like how this implies the people you called a Fed online might have actually been a Fed. There is a chance that you may have fought with a federal agent, a USAID federal agent on Twitter or 4chan. This also implies—
That's fucking funny, dude. You're just fucking spurging out against another person spurging out, and they're just in a suit in a fucking office building that looks like the fucking like the set design of Control. I just see like the one of the offices in the game Control, just some guy just, and you're just sitting here just like, I'm gonna fucking own this fucking fascist or this libtard, and it's just a fucking it's just some dude at his 9 to 5.
That like streamers and social media influencers may have been funded by USAID. But who? Who among us? Who would be willing to unquestionably,
I'm sorry, guys. There's something I need to tell you all. It's really heartbreaking. Every morning, an officer from USAID shows up. He tickles my prostate. He tickles my prostate and hands me a little bit of money, and then tells me to be a good boy online. And that's how I'm able to fund my content on a channel that isn't monetized yet. I am able to create this ecosystem because USAID agents have sex with my butthole.
Suck
Oh,
establishment
and pay me for it. So I am a prostitute for USAID. That's what I'm saying.
cock that hard.
For all the bad stuff America does around the world, USAID was just an organization that did a lot of nice things. Like it put a lot of money into efforts to help people in a variety of ways, like both materially and culturally. It's just like a nice way for the United States to have a positive presence around the world.
For the record, I do not actually believe Destiny is being funded by USAID. I just thought that transition was funny. I fucking love that quote.
Of course, dude. Of course it's Destiny obfuscating the truth to fit his own fucking narrative. What he's trying to do with his sex scandals, actually. He is trying to walk around and only highlight the things that make him look good and not the things that he did that was scummy to the women. It is a typical Destiny move, 100%. That is what all these fucking clowns do.
Quote though, USAID was just a nice organization that did a lot of nice things like culturally help people around the world. Culturally help people? Why are we in the business of cultural imperialism? Why do we have to culturally enrich Latin America or the fucking Balkans? So not only are we the world police, but we are now the world HR department? No thank you. Why are we spending billions of dollars doing
Well, we couldn't world police them when we couldn't show up and just fucking topple their governments with the lives of young Americans so that you could go to Walmart and see a bunch of pictures of people's kids who had died from serving our country. Yeah, when that made people feel so sad, we were like, Well, why don't we just virtue signal them to death? That seems like a much more valid strategy. Virtue signal them to death. If we go to their country and convince them by calling each other racist is the best way to do it, and having them fucking throw poop at each other over homophobia, that is the real way to topple their regime. You see, I'm fucking letting like 18 to like 25-year-olds die in other countries is so last season, dog.
Shit in other countries while ours crumbles. I don't care about teaching gender studies to Ugandans. The pothole in front of my house hasn't been filled in 3 years. These are my taxes, and I believe my taxes should go to help people in my country. I don't think that's controversial to say. And I know many conservatives agree with me. I'll always hear them say, we can't be spending money in Ukraine. We have to take care of our own. And then they just don't take care of their own, because that's socialism or communism or something. Listen, do you actually want to take care of your own? Do you actually want your taxes to go towards helping the poor and sick and families in this country?
I would be happy if we just like got rid of U.S. taxes on like income tax and shit. I would be the happiest boy in the world. Sorry, like I think we should have like either we like because like we either cut all. I want us to cut all the spending. Like cut the normal working class tax to basically zero, and then utilize the higher percentage, the higher kind of these giant companies, their taxes. We should keep them the same as they are now, so we don't fuck up the entire economic system. And then what we do is we utilize that for only like internal problems like roads, and maybe do a little bit better in healthcare. I'm not saying like fully fucking socialized healthcare, because that seems to be a fucking clusterfuck for every country that has socialized healthcare. I think that maybe we just have like some helpful programs, like a better version of Obamacare that doesn't fucking suck 80 pounds of dick. I think maybe that would be the better way. Now, I'm not the fucking political guru, like sludge bag over here, but I feel like that's a much better option than what we have currently.
Are you actually America first, or are you corpos and foreign countries first? I'm more than happy to work with you on good things to fix this country, but I don't think the establishment GOP is.
You don't want able-bodied workers on a program that is intended, for example, for single mothers with 2 small children who's just trying to make it. That's what Medicaid is for, not for 29-year-old males sitting on their couches playing video games. We're going to find those guys and we're going to send them back to work.
First of all, Medicaid is for anyone who needs it, period. And second of all, 29-year-old guys? You mean your fucking voter base? You mean the very demographic that is shifting the entire country in your direction? Those guys? Yeah, we're just wasting so much money helping young men. Those greedy gamers just gobbling up all the tax money. Not massive tax cuts to corporations and the
I do think that they could do a better, like, here's, like, there is better options. I mean, if you put in, like, systems to where, maybe like employers had to provide some sort of medication or Medicare or something, and it like even if it was like tied into the government where they got a tax break, then they could provide something like that. I think that it would then like influence all these fucking gooners to go get a job, right? Like, oh, I don't want to fucking work, and then it's like, oh, well, if you get a job, you get instant medical care. He's like, well, I guess I could go because I want to get my fucking teeth fixed. I want a gold tooth like iDubbbz.
rich, not all the money to the bloated military-industrial complex, no. Gamers. Young men who can't find a job, can't afford a house, can't afford college. Young men who can't build a family because of the society you created. Those guys, they need to pull themselves up by their bootstraps and pay for their own Medicare. This care isn't for them, it's for women. What? Great to know both sides of the establishment fucking hate young men. Anyway, sorry, I popped off. Let's get back on topic. Now, USAID did do some good things, I won't deny that. But even some of the good things USAID did were nothing but a bunch of fronts. Using Cuba as an example again, because these are some of the only ones that have been exposed so far, there was a USAID program called the Travelers Project that was said to be an HIV prevention workshop. But yet again, it was nothing but another covert regime change psyop. This was exposed in 2014 by the Associated Press. Young Venezuelans and Peruvians were deployed by USAID to Cuba's college campuses for $5.41 an hour. Really, USAID? Billions of dollars force feminizing mice, and you can't even pay your spies a living wage? Sad. Anyway, they were used to recruit college students into political organizations with the goal of turning them against their government. The goal of...
What? you took the useful idiots of incredibly impressionable youth to help overturn the government? I've never seen anything like that ever. I've never gone to university and thought, it's kind of weird how the whole university has one kind of hard, powerful opinion here, and they're all very angry. It's weird. That's crazy. But they only do that to other country guys. They would never do that here in the U.S. That'd be fucking wacky, bro. That'd be some fucking genital tickling behavior, and we don't have that in the U.S.
Of once again creating political division. In the exposed memos about this, USAID called their HIV workshop the, quote, perfect excuse. Right. But we're totally funding DEI in Vietnam for pure humanitarian reasons, I'm sure. This was done so sloppily that even our boy John Bolton came out and disavowed it, but not without saying he thought it was a good idea in principle. Yes, it's a great idea to create taxpayer-funded secret psyops all over the world in order to f*** with other countries' politics. Just don't recruit teenagers to do it next time, okay?
Yeah, guys, we need to get adults. And how do we get adults? I don't know. Let's go back to the colleges, bro. This is way easier. They're big fucking stupids.
What? I honestly just think it's kind of funny we were funding anti-socialist agendas all around the world and disguising it as social progressivism. Don't think too hard about that one. Now, Cuba wasn't the only place USAID was culturally helping. On January 12, 2010, a 7.0 magnitude earthquake struck Haiti, killing 220,000 people, injuring another 300,000, and leaving 1.5 million more homeless. In the wake of the catastrophe, the United States provided $1.6 billion in reconstruction funding to Haiti, $651 million of which went to USAID. Rather than a—
No fucking way. You know what's crazy about this one, right? I remember I was, I think I was a freshman in high school. And, I don't remember when it was. I remember I was in school. I think I was a freshman now. And there was like a fucking student council people. There's all these people walking around getting donations to go to this thing for Haiti. And it was like, it was all part of this, dude. They were fucking walking around my high school getting funding for the fucking, the shit in Haiti. Only to find out that 651 million of it went to fucking USAID, which is insane, bro. Like, oh my god, bro. Contracts in Mexico-based firm Cemex. Oh my god, dude. This is wild, dude. Just to think that like, all those fucking kids from my high school walking around with their stupid fucking envelopes were just funding gay tickling in Oogas Boogas land, probably.
Employing Haitian construction companies, USAID contracted out the rebuilding projects to international firms. For instance, Minnesota-based construction firm Thor was awarded $18 million in contracts, and Mexico-based firm Cemex received over $7 million. But by far the largest recipient of USAID funding in Haiti was Washington, D.C. based contractor Chemonics International, who received over $200 million to carry out a total of 141 projects. In fact, USAID awarded more money to Chemonics than to the entire Haitian government in the wake of the earthquake. An audit conducted on Chemonics revealed that the company had a tendency to not finish jobs, evaluated its own project on arbitrary criteria not having to do anything with the project, and failed to set timelines, causing some projects to fall behind schedule. In one case, Chemonics was contracted to build Haiti's new parliament building, but what they constructed came out half-finished and unusable. The company only built the framework of the building, not even erecting interior walls to divide office spaces, nor did they bother to furnish the building.
Bro, they just built like a fucking giant square out of fucking cinder blocks, put a roof on it, and said, "That's your new building, guys. Hey, look at that. You guys got your building now. You can't complain." They're like, "But we have no rooms. It's just a big square fucking cinder block building." No, but it cost $87 million, so you should be really happy. How did this cost $87 million? Well, we had to jerk off enough congressmen. We had to make sure that their buttholes had gold-plated, diamond-encrusted fucking butt plugs in them. Otherwise, why the fuck would we help you, you stupid fucking Haitians?
With this, the Haitian government was forced to draw $775,000 from its public treasury to complete the project. Despite these disastrous results, Chemonics to this day remains USAID's top contractor. The construction company was awarded $506.4 million in contracts in 2021 alone. In a leaked email exposed by WikiLeaks, they described this tragedy as a gold rush, ensuring that it would be great for international companies. Seems like the only thing they are culturally helping is their own wallets, am I right? And you know how you always hear about how poor people are in Venezuela and how the politicians are so rich and live in luxury? Yeah, part of that has to do with USAID. Billions of dollars of aid we sent to Venezuela just lined the pockets of US-backed politicians there. Only 2% of the aid we sent to Venezuela actually went to help Venezuelans. So at this point, the whole world was basically sick of USAID's bullshit. In 2013, Bolivian President Evo Morales expelled USAID officials from his country on the grounds that the agency had conspired against his government by allegedly manipulating social movements in the country. He also charged that a previous USAID program that sought to help cocoa farms switch to new crops was politically motivated. Russia expelled the agency in 2012 for similar reasons. Its foreign ministry argued in a statement that USAID attempts to influence political processes through its grants. And in February, Kenyan Cabinet Secretary Francis Kimimya claimed that his government had evidence that USAID had hired activists to organize anti-government protests in Nairobi in an effort to topple the government. Oh, and if
But they're just here to help, guys. They just go to other countries and make sure that everyone's safe and sound, and we tuck them in nice little blankets. Well, that's not evil psyops by the CIA, guys. I promise, guys. The CIA and the USAID has never been evil. They're not the CIA, guys. Trust me, bro.
If you're wondering why so many news outlets and journalists were freaking out over the potential shutting down of USAID, yeah, it's probably because it's where their paychecks were coming from. Yeah, apparently USAID was funding about 6,200 journalists and 707 news outlets all across the world. Not even just America. For example, the editor-in-chief of a Ukrainian news outlet wrote that destroying USAID was a greater threat to Ukrainian journalism than the Russian invasion. What? There were independent outlets shutting down everywhere, including Russia after the USAID freeze. So we were apparently funding media in both Ukraine and Russia.
I'm playing.
Oh, guys, we don't like Russia, we don't like Ukraine, but, we also like Russia, and we also like Ukraine. It just depends on which magazine that we're funding, and which one we're psyoping currently, which is both of them, so we're gonna profit off of this war by any means necessary. Propaganda, propaganda, propaganda.
Playing both sides so that I always come out on top.
Serbia, Moldova, all across Latin America, independent outlets shutting down everywhere. All because the little sister of the CIA can't pay no mo. So I have a question. Why the f*** were we funding media in all these other countries? Well, the CEO for the Center of Investigative Reporting, a USAID-supported Bosnian media organization, said it best. Quote, "If you are funded by the US government, there are certain topics that you would simply not go after, because the US government has its interests that are above all else." Oh, I guess that answers my question. USAID is also ridden with other scandals, such as covering up a child sex abuse ring in Kenya, kidnapping and torturing people in Uruguay, forced sterilizing 300,000 Peruvian women, and the famous one you all know, funding drug production in Afghanistan. Oopsie poopsies, we did little fucky wuckies. Now think about all the other shit that hasn't been exposed. These aren't mistakes, these aren't flukes, these aren't little fucky wuckies. This is what this program was set out to do. This is why it was created. We were quite literally funding Globo Homo as a sneaky way to do regime change and American intervention. Or do you think we're spending $1 million in Nepal to promote atheism because Hinduism is such a threat? You're cute. The United States won't sleep until there's an ugly progress flag hanging on Starbucks on every corner of every street all over the world from Latin America to the Middle East. Ah yes, the greatest American exports, butt, sex, and war. There are a shit ton of old left-wing articles you can find online spanning back to 2010, even earlier, about how evil USAID is. Now suddenly liberals are acting like it's another fucking beat.
Again, dude, where I said it at the very beginning of this video, where I remember a lot of these programs and shit being the left-wing media and the politicians were against all of this fucking federal spending because it was against the working class, guys. So they were super anti it until there was going to be something done about it, and now all of them are for it for some fucking reason. It's just like a flip-flop thing. I saw recently I saw like a video of like Nancy Pelosi talking about how we needed to like raise tariffs on China, and it's like basically the exact same rhetoric that Trump had on tariffs with China, and it's just so funny to see this like complete change in dynamic. Now I'm not like politically savvy enough to like go in on like what's going on there or on either of these people, Trump or Pelosi. I just think it's funny to see the hypocrisy and the fucking tone bouncing that happens between all of these fucking cum goblins.
Of democracy that we have to cry and piss and shit about just because it's Trump getting rid of it. Frankly, I don't care. If they start dismantling things that I do care about, things that do actually help the American people, then I will care. Expose where the trillions of dollars we spent on the Iraq war went next, please. Or, you know, actually release the Epstein files.
Yeah, dude, don't make the shit look like a fucking censored illicit sex video where it's just black boxes everywhere. Actually release the Epstein files, because I'm sorry, when you just fucking release like entire binders that are just redacted, it makes you look pretty cringe and gay, guys.
Do I think Doge cut USAID because they're our great comrade in arms, cutting off the tentacles of American imperialism? No. Trump probably just cut it because he thought it was a woke, gay waste of money, and it was. But as far as I'm concerned, every article written about how bad dismantling it was written by John Bolton himself. Like the president of Colombia said, take your money with you. It's poison. All the sources I used in this video and all the information I got for this video will be in links down below. Feel free to do your own research as always. And if you like this video, please consider subscribing. A lot of you aren't subscribed apparently. You just watch.
By the way, a lot of you fucking scrubs that are watching me talk about this shit are not subscribed. And that's disappointing because I know that you guys come and you watch it, even if you hate me and you think my rhetoric is disgusting because I talk about cum way too much. I need to start talking about fucking vaginal fluid more. I think that's my real takeaway is I need to be talking about swimming through vaginal fluid way more than I do. And it's just kind of disappointing. I'll take the L on that one, guys. We will hear more vaginal fluid jokes for the future. Maybe, probably, I don't know. But it's definitely something I need to add into the twist of things. I need to talk about just getting shot in the face like a squirt gun from a super pussy. But I do know that you guys come here and you watch my shit and you're not subscribed. So fucking subscribe, you dweebs. Please do it now and make yourself a good little fucking little cuckadoodle-doo and sit in the corner and watch me stroke.
Watch and fuck off. I will find you. Also, this video is most likely going to be demonetized, so if you can and if you want to, please donate to me on Patreon, link down below. It helps the channel so much, and I appreciate it. And I will see you next time with a less serious, more fun video.
That was a pretty good one. I wasn't sure if I was gonna cover that because I try to stay away from a lot of this like hyper political shit. But I think that her coverage on that was like incredible. I that's the one thing I like about Shoe on Head is I feel like she can balance it and like show the hypocrisy on both sides really well, and kind of find the actual meat in clematos. And why did I say clematos? Because there's nothing better than a tomato coming out of a clam, which it means that I shoved tomatoes and pussies and eat them out of vaginas, so that's the way I get my pasta sauce. But I like the way that she does this, and I thought it would be interesting. I want to Shoe on Head, even though like I've covered her in the past and I didn't get great views on it, it's still somebody who I really respect in the YouTube ecosystem and enjoy the fuck out of her content. I mean, this is type of shit that everything she talks about is entertaining as fuck. It's just the way she is. She is probably the best fucking like in the world of fucking like political discourse and like funny fucking like gender war bullshit. She is the best and funnest voice to listen to. I'm sorry if you disagree with that. You have probably used the entirety of all the foreskins that USAID has cut off to create a bandana to cover your eyes. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and like and subscribe. All right. Now, I kind of covered this in the past, right? I covered the main villain of the show Monster in the past, and I felt like I didn't get enough. I felt like that was a it was like a taste. It was a little schmig nugget. It was a schmig nugget of tastiness that I needed more of. I needed more of an interpretation. I needed more of a deep dive for the channel so that I could give this this manga or anime the true juicing that it truly deserved. And this is another video from the Masked Man, because we know that I am a massive Masked Man enjoyer on this channel. I love the fact that he is going to all of his Eyes Wide Shut parties. He is a great guy. The Eyes Wide Shut thing, I don't think he's a part of a weird like kinky cult. I just know that he wears a mask and they wear a mask and that stuff. So anyways, we'll skip right into the video.
Subscribed yet, consider subscribing, as only take a little bit of your time and it honestly makes a massive difference.
By the way, do that to me. Like, pound that subscribe button as much as you'd like to pound me into the sand, daddy.
My first ever experience with anime was Dragon Ball. Then eventually it was Naruto.
Honestly, that's how most people start. Naruto wasn't for... I didn't watch Naruto as a kid. I saw it was on all the time, but it was Dragon Ball, Yu-Gi-Oh! I think I watched some Pokemon as a kid, and then... I didn't watch anime for a very long time, and then I had some friends when I was living in Oregon who really liked anime, and I started watching a bunch of stuff. Also, my wife's brothers really like anime, and they all watched One Piece, so I got into One Piece, and honestly, I'm a huge One Piece fan to this day. I don't like Naruto. I think Naruto is middest thing ever made, but, I mean, I get people like it. I'm gonna consistently meme about how Naruto is the worst anime ever made, because I think it's funny, and I know it upsets the Naruto fans.
Then Magi, then Seven Deadly Sins. Where I'm going with this is...
Seven Deadly Sins is the worst thing ever made, ever. I'm sorry. It is disgusting. It is, like, unmemeing. I meme about Naruto. Seven Deadly Skins... Yeah, that's a better thing. Seven Deadly Skins is exactly what it is. It is, like, the most degenerate thing I've ever watched in my life. I've never felt more uncomfortable with watching an anime than I did Seven Deadly Skins, bro.
My perspective about anime was just like most people who are new to anime. It's supernatural, out of this world, exaggerated screaming, and super colorful. And then I eventually got into seinen manga. Now, the more you read, the more you find out that the lines between seinen and shonen are pretty much non-existent, and it's only...
It's just basically one is like, we have boobs. We have more boobs and more hyper-violent blood. But in the modern era, with stuff like My Hero and Demon Slayer, the line's getting blurred and blurred more than ever before. Because I think even like Chainsaw Man is... I don't know if Chainsaw Man's considered... I think Shonen Jump puts on Chainsaw Man. So it's like technically considered like a shonen, but I think that it's closer to a seinen or whatever. So it's just the lines don't really matter anymore. We've gone past it. Everything's just like, if it's fucking good, it's good, right? If it makes you cum ropes and your girl shoot pussy juice in your eye, it's good as fuck.
Really what magazine something is published in. But my first seinen manga was actually Berserk, this brutal, graphic, dark fantasy adventure epic. And then eventually I went on to read Monster. Again, with everything that I knew previous about anime, my impression was that it was over the top, loud, but also beautiful and majestic, and reading Berserk really opened my eyes to appreciating the quieter moments with characters. But the realism and the legitimate sense that I was reading something that could be played out like a live action was so different and immersive for me at the time. This wasn't a story that had aliens, it wasn't...
If you love binge watching, and
if you love binge watching, shut up. I'm gonna poop. But no, that's kind of the thing. When I first watched, Berserk, and the stuff I've read Berserk, is the best moments of Berserk are like the quiet moments, like at the end of a battle or between battles, and like everything that leads up to the situation. It's not about the huge over-the-top fantasy stuff. It's about the personal moments that happen, and it's just such a weird dynamic that is done so beautifully. Berserk is probably one of my favorite. It's the only manga I own, is the first volume of like it's like the collection series of Berserk. I think there's like 14 issues, but I own the first issue. I think I'm about halfway through it, and I'm a huge fan of that bullshit. It's so good.
Well, you get the point. So, in this video, I finally wanted to take time addressing the overall beauty of the story of Monster, outside of just its main antagonist, Johan, who I've praised on many occasions. First, I want to give a thanks to today's sponsor, Slick Deals. Slick Deals is a free browser extension on the internet. My motivation for wanting to do this video is...
Oh, dude, his fucking low tier god obsession is. I'm starting to notice that like some of his old videos, he was like glazing the penis of low tier god as much as possible, which is funny. I love when creators extracurricular interests, like he obviously has a love for like locales and stuff, otherwise he wouldn't be fucking putting. This is like the second video I've seen of his where he has a low tier god reference, and I might have missed him before because I'm not like in the depths of this guy's butthole understanding all of his references, but I do love the fact that he's got a couple low tier god shits, because like that just shows like a creator for more than just like I'm obsessed with this one thing and that's what my entire channel is. It's like I have other interests too, check this shit out.
You should motivate yourself now.
Is I've been feeling extremely burnt out, constantly having to read new things, and I decided it'd be nice to take some time to slow down and enjoy some of the things that I've previously read. As I think it's interesting how a lot of us in the anime community, me included, will read something once and then that'll be it. That's the end-all be-all of our opinion on that series. And I always think going back and revisiting one every now and then is a really
By
good...
the way, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I got, I don't know, I got to the, I think it was like the 4th or 5th season, I don't know, whichever one where the dude eats like the spaghetti and grows new teeth, and I'm like, I watched through that season, I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm fucking done with this shit. This shit's got way too fucking cringe for me. It was already like, it already hit like the peak of cringe, and then it just kept going. I thought it would like kind of like settle back down and hit like some cool shit like the first few seasons, but for me, it lost me fucking hardcore after that season.
Good idea, because you catch all of these things that you may have missed when you read it years ago. Recently rereading Vagabond, I felt passionate about the series again, and I wanted to do a video on it, which by the way, that video did really well, so thank you for that. But when I went back to visit Monster, I wonder if it would still hold up like it did for me 2 years ago. Now having read so many more stories that were just thriving and dripping in just realism and that sense of immersiveness, stories like Innocent, for example. And even though I think Innocent has a lot more realism in terms of its art style, in terms of actual story and characters, Monster still holds up beautifully. It's like an amazing movie you never get tired of seeing over and over and over again. One of the main reasons for that is the dialogue in Monster, something that I've garnered a much larger appreciation for now starting to work on my own story, which has been a very long process, which I'll talk about more on a later occasion. But the dialogue in Monster is brilliant. There's a rhythm to it just like you would expect in a Tarantino film, just this amazing back and forth of attack and defend, as even though it's a story that's very realistic, dialogue should not always be realistic, as we as people always take forever to get to the point.
Have a look. Let me know, I'll swap them out. You know, you can just like go ahead and knock on my skull if you need.
But if not, the dialogue is believable for every...
I have no idea what that's fucking in reference to, but I'm mad interested. So if you guys know in the comments, let me know what the fuck that clip's from. I really want to know. That shit was wildly funny.
Character in the story of Monster, as well as Urasawa is just an absolute genius and fully understands the concept of subtext and applies it gracefully. The ability to have a character say something with having very heavy undertones and implications under what they're directly saying to the other character in the scene. This is something that's very important and I think adds a lot to Monster, as I think if the dialogue was constantly on the nose, it wouldn't be as believable and it would take away from the very intense moments when characters are on the nose, like with Johan's iconic death quote. But this video isn't about dialogue. However, I would encourage you that if you ever reread Monster, really pay attention to the way Urasawa does things with this. But what is Monster?
I think this is like an anime, I don't know if a Monster has like an anime or if it's just an anime movie, but I wonder if it holds up as good as the manga. Like that is something that I feel like it gets missed out a lot in videos where they talk about just the manga in particular. Is they don't talk about how good the anime is. And for somebody like me who's like works full time, like has to like do dad stuff, which I enjoy fucking thoroughly, and then also does content, I kind of like having a show that I could just put on, watch while I hang out with my daughter and we play and stuff, instead of like having to actually read through all this shit, because like time's important. So I would like to know if the anime is as good as the manga, or at least close.
About what's the message that we can take away from reading the story outside of its amazing plot, and I think it's in the title. Monster. But to further explain that, we need to look at the two primary characters of our story and then go into the other characters, Tenma and Johan, the protagonist and antagonist of our story. I kind of want to make this a little clear because I have praised Johan heavily on many occasions, rightfully so, but this story is not about Johan. This story is about how Tenma deals with a person like Johan. One of the great things that I've been learning when it comes to story writing is your antagonist should be tailor-made to conflict, to push, and to contrast your protagonist. Your antagonist needs
By the way,
to...
he's showing a lot of clips from Yu Yu Hakusho, and that is one of my favorite fucking animes of all time. I don't care what anybody says. I know Hunter x Hunter, people say is that guy's better work. And I like Hunter x Hunter, but my problem with Hunter x Hunter is... one, where it ends off, the fact that it'll never get an ending. I think that some of its shit kind of feels all over the place. It doesn't have like the structural strength, I believe, that Yo-Yo Hakusho has, because like with Yo-Yo, the characters you meet throughout the beginning, throughout the whole story are there. They are encompassed in the story. They're always important, and it feels like Hunter x Hunter kind of loses people, then regains them, then loses people, reintroduces them all the fucking time, and it doesn't feel like you have that like hardcore structure that I had with Yo-Yo. And another thing is, like, even though I think the Chimera arc is incredible and like an amazing arc, I feel like it's a bit long. And on top of that, I also feel like yes, it's amazing, and yes, all of the stuff, like all the arcs in general are good, but as a whole encompassing story, I just don't think it does it as well as Yo-Yo. So that's why Yo-Yo, for me, on that creator's work, will always be the peak. I think that Yo-Yo is so fucking brilliant. Now, I still have a little bit of episodes left. He was like fighting in hell last time, where it's kind of losing the plot a little bit because it's a little over the top, and you can tell that the ending feels a bit rushed on Yo-Yo. But like the journey, the fucking fighting arc, the leading up to the big fucking tournament, and then the tournament arc are so fucking brilliant. I don't think even like Dragon Ball or anything else of that time period could even fucking compete.
To push your protagonist into making choices that could sacrifice their moral code.
In fact, I think, I can't remember the guy's name, but the antagonist from, it was, he started before they started that antagonist before the fucking tournament arc in Yo-Yo Hakusho, but him throughout the tournament arc is one of the greatest fucking protagonists in anime, and I will stand on that hill. I will die on that motherfucking hill, boys.
A very similar example to this would be The Dark Knight, as I think The Dark Knight is an amazing film, and a lot of people praise Heath Ledger's Joker, but I think in praising that character so heavily, people seem to undermine or kind of forget how brilliant the protagonist of the movie is, Bruce Wayne, Batman, played by Christian Bale. And I think a similar thing happens here with Monster, as Tenma, whilst although I do see gets praise, it's not nearly to the extent of a character as Johan, who simply just serves a different role than him. But everything that happens in the story, the message that we are to take from it is from Tenma's perspective, and Johan simply exists to push Tenma's beliefs and his morality. The message being that all human life has value. All human life is equal. It is the value of human life and how we value other people. It's something that's made very clear from the beginning of the story, and we simply see how he grows in that.
People aren't just buckets of blood, water, and like genital juice. I'm sorry. You might think, women are just vaginal juice and men are just cum, and that is not what we are. We are people, so we should not. So killing them is bad. That is the message, and it's quite beautiful, actually.
Conviction as the story goes on. Johan simply serves as the clear-cut contrast to that. And what makes Johan such a fascinating character is, as we learn through his backstory and what happened in 511, we get to learn the events that made the monster that is Johan. Somebody who suffered unfortunate circumstances, but then we see another character like Grimmer who turned out a lot better than Johan. And I think that's one of the things that's really brilliant about Monster, is outside of the main two, it also has some choice characters that really do stand out and push the themes of the the story further, as one doesn't need to be this mass-murdering psychopath in order to lose one's humanity and value for other people. I think the character Detective Lunge is the perfect example of this. Someone who's so obsessed with his work, he's become negligent of his own wife and daughter. And there's a specific scene where Lunge walks into the office and the person in charge of him tells him he has nothing. Now, again, I don't think the person in charge of him knew of what was going on in Lunge's personal life. He was simply talking about the cases that he had. Yet in the context of the grander scheme, Lunge finding out that his wife and daughter were leaving him, that quote of "you have nothing" means so much more. Again, Urasawa using dialogue brilliantly. There's also a scene earlier on within the story where Tenma saves a terrorist, and Tenma at first refuses to save his life until the man explains himself and gives off this emotional outcry in what seems to be his final words, and Tenma then decides to save him. And when the terrorist asks why, Tenma said, "It's because I felt you were human." The story of Monster is about the beauty of humanity and the value that we should see in other people. And I know this is an anime and manga channel, so this might not be a popular thing to say, but we as people...
Yeah, all you fucking scrubs out there. I know, I've seen what goes on at those anime cons. You guys are a bunch of fucking goomers. You're a bunch of, like, goon bags. A bunch of fucking... You've never smelled or tasted what vaginal fluid tastes like. You just fucking sniff your own fucking cum sock every day. Yeah, garbage people.
Are social beings. We thrive off of our relationships with other people. Also, that's not to say that we don't like to have moments of intimacy.
You don't get into, not when you're an anime fan. No, you sit in your basement and be big sad all the time. We know what you are. We know that you are, you guys are all Reddit fucking incel goblin monsters. We know what you are. Friendships. Can't understand. I'm gonna quit memeing, bro. There's somebody who's watching this shit that's getting mad sad from my jokes right now. They're like, I had a friend once who was 10 years ago, but he counted. And he's just looking at his fucking sock puppet that he fucks every weekend.
And being alone, some more than others. I'm a bit introverted myself, so I understand. But it's not healthy to just be in pure isolation on our own without any sort of other human interaction in our life. And the more we lose that value in other people and the value of our own humanity, the less we become human, the more we become...
By the way, Studio Ghibli's animation style just fucking gets my cock so hard.
A monster, which is what Johan purely embodies, and why a character like Grimmer is so important, is because despite whatever evils he has faced, he's always smiling, and he always moves forward, gracefully. And that's what makes his character so special, is the direct contrast he serves to Johan, just like Tenma does. Although Grimmer is more so in outcome and the decision and how to live one's life, Tenma being more of the philosophical counter, but you know. The cast of characters Monster has and the way that it's able to use each character to either tie in to the plot or to the theme of the story is beautiful. Just like with the man and the little girl early on within the story, of course Tenma, Johan, the Magnificent Steiner himself, Lunge, and even characters like Nina and Ava. Look, I think we can all agree Ava is a massive bitch, but I do think her character is important, and upon rereading it, I did garner more of an appreciation. As I said, there's more than just being a mass-murdering psychopath like Johan in order to lose touch with one's humanity. Lunge's obsession with his work and negligence of his family, and then Ava not understanding the real value in other people, simply using them for position, status, and pleasure, and that leading to a life of misery for her. I think I've made my point relatively clear now with all the different examples of the characters, but on top of this super intense murder mystery crime chase plot, it's this theme and message that's beautiful.
Well, I mean, this is something you see in films all the time. That you can have something that's fucking like lame and boring, and you watch it and you're like, oh, listen, everybody fucking sucked and nothing was memorable. And then you can have shit like Seven, where you go through Seven and everything's like leading to it, and even though the antagonist isn't on screen the whole time, by the time you actually meet the antagonist, he is exactly what you think he is, but he's worse than what you think he is. And the moments you get in the dialogue you get at the end of Seven just makes it one of the most memorable film experiences you can walk away from, and it sets it apart from some of the other slop that you get in the fucking murder mystery like gulag of movies.
Shining through the entire time, and it shines through even greater when we finally take a look at the contrast. Johan Johan's a bit of a tragic character when you look at him. The suffering and the pain that he went through as a child made him the person that he is. And Johan is even more interesting because it's really his morality, and when you put it up in question, Johan, from his perspective, the pure nihilist that he is, if there truly is no value in other people and other humans, then what's the point in morality? If people are worth nothing, then what does it matter if he manipulates someone to kill someone else, or if he takes a human life? Being completely desensitized to the idea of killing another person, the absolute loss of value and appreciation for other people. And even though this isn't to the most extreme example, I do notice that it seems like with some people in real life, they value their pet more than another human being. And in no way, shape, or form am I saying you're like, Johan, alright, relax. I'm just, again, speaking to the loss of value when it comes to human life. But I think from Johan's perspective, it's interesting how people draw certain moral lines and boundaries. But if human life has no value and no meaning and no equality outside of death, then why do we draw those moral lines in the first place? And Tenma stands there triumphantly and firm that value does exist within people. It's our humanity. It's our love and appreciation for others.
And this is something that you see in a lot, almost every narrative. You're gonna see something where it's gonna like show the one character who sees value in humanity. Like this is nothing like groundbreaking or changing. It's not like you're saying like, oh, but humanity is good, and then you just fucking start blasting out of your fucking cum orifices. I mean, it's just spraying out of you like the fucking death scene from Platoon. But it's about how you create that narrative and how you build it to a greater fucking crescendo of beauty. It's how you are able to get from point A to point B, even though somebody else might take the exact same message and put it out, but it just lectures you the whole time and it tells you exactly what it wants you to find out of it, and you're just like, I fucking get it, dog. But you don't have to tell me, you have to show me. You have to let me make those jumps. And that's what's beautiful if dialogue's written well, is you as the audience can make those same jumps that the writer wants you to see without the writer specifically telling you at every fucking turn.
People. It's the ability to strive and move forward despite the difficulties that we face in life, the ability to redeem ourselves from the dark pasts and our dark mistakes that makes us human, and is the beauty in us as people, regardless of all the flaws and evils that we do inherently bring. We see this with the growth and the development of Detective Lunge and Ava. We see this with the conviction that Tenma goes through despite all of the adversity that he faces. And we see this with the tragedy of Johan, a boy who did not grow up to be a human being or a man, but instead grew up to be a monster.
That's brilliant. This is a brilliant video. See, I feel like I was like snickle-bickled on my penis earlier when I watched the kind of the Johan Liebert video, or Liebian, or whatever the fucking Liebert, the Johan Liebert video. I watched that and I was like, yeah, I kind of get a taste for him, but I felt like I was missing so much fucking context. It just felt like it was missing something. It needed more. It needed this. It needed this right fucking here, because now this contextualizes everything that I kind of got from that other video, and now I feel like I fucking understand. I understand the love and the appreciation for him as an antagonist, and this is the story, and now I'm like excited to dive into it. Like, I want to watch this for myself. I want to get into this now, when previously I was just left fucking hungry, and honestly, I didn't feel the urge to jerk it, and that's how you know you're into something good, is you feel like if you're a girl, you're like, okay, I need some fucking tentacle dildos to shove in my vagina now. If you're a guy, you're like, give me that pocket pussy. You know what I mean? That's how you should feel after like you get some like really good fucking media, right? Or maybe I'm just kind of saying shit at this point, but yeah, dude, I really like this video. I think I'm really like the whole story of Monster and like the night dynamics that are getting placed here are really drawing a lot of comparisons to some of like my favorite crime films and stuff. Like ones that are coming to example in my head instantly was Seven. Another was Usual Suspects, which I think is one of the most brilliant films I've like. It definitely has some like cheesy moments, but Usual Suspect is just like a really good way of stacking like a crime drama and like putting it in for an audience to keep you on your toes. And I think that this kind of is I put this in the same category in terms of what I've seen thus far. But I might be off base, guys. Let me know in the comments down below. Likes, dislike, I don't give a shit. And make sure to subscribe, guys. We need to get me to like the next fucking Google sphere of power and influence. Or I really don't want influence. I just want to be the dude that makes weird fucking jokes on the internet and has fun. And it would be nice if I got paid for that fun. So you guys make sure to like, subscribe, share the video, do all that shit if you want to. I would appreciate it. And I'll catch you on the next one. And with that, boys and girls, I am done for the night of the day. I have to go to work. I have a life to live. I know you guys hate to hear that because you want me to be a little incel gooner, but I'm sorry, dude. I'm a normal boy. I'm just a normal guy, and I can't change that. But I'm gonna end the stream.